Hi, I'm Mike Byron, CEO and founder of MyBizMeNow. Welcome to the Ignite Leadership Series. All right, my name is Mike Byron from MyBizMeNow, and I'm here to interview Steve Crummey. And because I won't do as good a job of introducing him as he will himself, I'll let him introduce himself in a second. I'll just say that it's an honor to have you, Steve. I worked at Lotus for the audience here, when Steve was in charge of marketing, and he was a rock star. And I had his leadership principles pinned up to my cubicle wall for years, and learned to become a leader by essentially following those principles. And so Steve's here to talk today about the characteristics that are needed to be a successful entrepreneur. But Steve, why don't you give us a few words of where you came from, what you do, and that type of thing, and then we'll
Be
just
happy
jump
to,
right
Mike.
in.
Thank you. And yeah, thanks very much. And hello, everybody. My name is Steve Crummey, as Michael just said. I live in the Boston area. I've been in Boston for a long, long time, all in high tech. Michael mentioned Lotus Development, Avid Technology, Picture Tell. I helped at Akamai. I started a company called intranets.com with Bill Gross from Idea Lab. Just a whole bunch of them. Some good, some not so good. I've had good success and I've had some miserable failures. So what I wanted to do today was to try to help the younger entrepreneurs that are going to listen to this eventually on what works, at least what worked for me. Maybe it won't work for you, but there's no harm in listening. That came from the school of hard knocks. This isn't something I read out of a textbook. This is something I learned from getting beat up
Yeah,
sometimes. But that's the purpose of me being on this video.
great. And it's funny you mentioned some topics you wanted to cover. I'm going to read those off, and then we'll jump into them. But it's funny you say from the School of Hard Knocks, because one of the characteristics I think you're going to talk about is having a mentor and the importance of that. So let me just jump over to the topic. So we'll
Okay.
talk about passion for what you do and why that's important, persistence in the face of defeat, why failure is good, the importance of having a mentor, not hiring people like yourself, uh, some soft skills here, being a good communicator, being intellectually honest with yourself, and then also, being the conductor of the show and the importance of that. So, Steve, why don't you just start wherever you want? That wasn't any particular order.
Well, why don't we start with passion? Because I
Sure.
think that to me is fundamentally key. And we all, you've all read books about entrepreneurs, you've listened to entrepreneurs, and I'm sure they're all really, really bright people, and they have their own point of view. This is my point of view, again, from learning it the hard way. But on the first topic of passion, what you're going to find, I guarantee it, as you go down the path of becoming an entrepreneur, you're going to get 10 times the amount of no's that you're going to get yeses. I guarantee it, it's going to happen. Whether you're raising money, whether you're trying to hire people, whether you're trying to get money for an office, whether you're trying to do a patent, along the way, you're going to get so many more no's than yeses. It only takes one no and it takes a lot of yeses to get where you want to get to. So you've got to believe passionately in what you do. It's got to come from inside. It's got to be in your gut. It's got to be in your heart. It can't be fabricated. You can't read a book and say, I'm passionate enough. It'll never work because the phoniness will be seen through immediately. One of my favorite entrepreneurs, and I'm going to recommend you do this, is a fellow named Bill Gross who founded Idea Lab. Idea Lab's in Pasadena, California. Go to their website, Bill Gross, and I'm not promoting him. I have nothing to do with them other than I thought he was the best I've ever seen. And listen to one of his talks about alternate energy, particularly solar energy and power. And after you listen to that, you'll understand the meaning of passion because you can see right through it if it's real or not real.
Steve, say that name again.
Bill Gross, Gross, who is the founder of Idea Lab, IDEALAB, in Pasadena, California. And if you
Great.
go do a search, you'll find a million talks he does at TED and other places. But this particular one is about his passion for the environment and solar storage and how do you store wind and solar power. And he knows a lot better than I do. Whether you believe in that or not, it's not the point. It's the passion of his convictions that I want to get across to all of you.
Steve, that's interesting you say that. In every single interview that I've done, and I've done I guess you're about the seventh or eighth. Everybody brings up the importance of passion, and it comes along sort of hand in hand with brand authenticity. It's just something you can't really, fake.
You
It
can't.
comes through, and
That's right.
as you said, you get a bunch of no's before you get the one yes that
You sure do.
means. And
I can assure you that.
yeah, and you got to have a passion for what you're doing, or else you'll quickly become disheartened and things
You'll be
aren't.
crumpled down. That's right. You'll give up.
I'm Mike Byron, and this is the Ignite Leadership Series. Thank you for watching. More content's on the way, so stay tuned for future episodes.